Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hot Tag Reviews. I am, of course, your bastard, Craig Challoner, and today I am joined by what some people say is the biggest Jericho fanboy. Some might say he's the Mox Mark. To me, he'll always be that man that had to follow me around Wembley, apologising to people behind me. But to everybody else, he is the head zebra of BCCW, the head ref, Mr. Adam Evans. Adam, welcome to the show, mate.
Hi, Craig. Great to be involved. Thank you.
Not a problem. I like that little. I like to see you pop at your little intro. We've got to give you a little bit more than just "Hello, it's Adam." You deserve more.
Yeah, maybe not.
So, how you been, mate? You good?
I'm good. Yeah, excited. It's not something I usually do, this kind of thing. So, something a little bit different. But yeah, I'm happy to be involved and looking forward to whatever you've got in store.
Well, you're a big part. You're a big part of BCCW. You have been since the get go. You're the head ref. You are one of the leading guys. You've even appeared in a Rumble, but we'll get to that a bit later. You're there. You see the comings and goings of BCCW. You get to see the ins and outs, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So you are one of the most perfect people to have to sit down and have a chat with about BCCW and everything else. So if we jump straight into this now, let's go with BCCW as a whole, as a company, the way that it's run. Where would you put BCCW in comparison to the rest of the companies at the moment running independents across the country?
Yeah, I mean, I ref for quite a few different people now, especially in the Midlands, and shortly afar from that. Black Country is very special to me. I've not missed a show yet. I've ref for every show, and I try and make that possible. It'd have to be something very significant for me to not be involved. There's been scenarios where there's been clashes, and I've had to, I've not committed to Black Country in the first instance because the date didn't pop up, and I've had to just cancel other shows, and because I won't, it would hurt me to not be involved in a show. I'd not like to miss a show. Do you know what I mean? I'd hate for that to happen. The growth from the start to now has been, it's been at a very fast pace. You look at the names that are coming in. It's gone from strength to strength at a very quick pace. And I've just loved being involved in the whole product. Really, the people involved are really good people. If I look back to Halloween 2019, so it was just before COVID, that's when I started reffing. It was Tom Priest who gave me that first opportunity. He wasn't running FCW, but he was involved in it. He didn't really know me at that point, other than some exchanges of some messages. So for him to put my name forward and to get me that start as a referee in wrestling, even at my age, that was something that's I won't forget. And the fact that he's now a key figure behind BCCW means I hold my loyalty to Tom and to the rest of you guys who run it. I love being involved. I love all the people who are attached to BCCW, and I'm excited for the future of what the company will bring if it continues, and I've no doubt that it will continue at the pace that it has in its very short time on the scene.
Absolutely. I mean, BCCW is growing from strength to strength, straight from the get-go. The roster is growing just insanely. It's just exploding now. The shows and everything coming up, the shows that have passed, they've all been that next level each time. It's constant with everything that they're putting on. Has there been any particular highs for yourself within the company? Not your personal highs, but things that you've witnessed or you've reffed, I should say.
Yeah, if I had to look at, there's been some bangers, haven't there? There's some absolute bangers, you know what I mean? And you keep bringing more and more names into it. Have not just been one-time wonders. They've come back, and you've developed that relationship, which is great. I think anyone would say anyone who's been in the ring and got to ref Driller Dan Maloney, would be more than happy with that. More than blessed with being involved in a match with him. The match they had with Eston Rees was, it was a great match. That was one that stands out for me. That main event. Another one was again CJ Rawlins against Lee Hunter in that no DQ match. With that
street fight.
Street fight, yeah. Correct. Yeah. Correct. Another fantastic match that I enjoyed being involved in. And yeah, Joseph Connors is another world-class talent, and his match with LJ Cleary, when he's been in there with him, that was another standout for me. Really, really good match, and they showed how good they are at their craft. And
it was Key to the Kingdom beginning of this year, that wasn't it? A really good match.
And to be the third person in there, it's just it's beyond that front row seat. It's to be in there is an absolute privilege, and I say them 3 matches are not the main ones for me.
But you can see the love in it with you as well. You can see how much you're enjoying it and how much it does mean to you to be in there as well, which is good. You don't want somebody to turn up and they just don't look interested, or oversell it like some AEW referees that we won't mention because she's. Anyway,
I could have wore that T-shirt tonight, Craig. I really thought about it, but I thought it might put you on a.
Well, I've got the rum going tonight, so I'm being good. I'm keeping it calm. We're not on the whiskey, we're on the rum tonight. And I didn't want to bring complete bastard, as this is the first time I've sat down with you properly and had a real go. And if you would have brought her out, I think you would have got the other side of the bastard.
I don't see the problem. I really don't. I think there's far worse out there. I'm a fan. I'll wear the shirt. I've not got a hot tag review shirt, but I've got an Aubrey shirt. So, what's that make you feel?
That's fine. That's fine. We can fix those problems, don't you? There's a bastard shirt coming out very shortly as well, so you better make sure you get hold of that one. But we've run through your highs. Has there been a low moment for you within the company?
Yeah. There's one that stands out. I prefer not to go into particular detail. I think it's quite documented. There's one particular match that I won't forget, and one that I don't want to remember. Didn't go particularly as planned, but what's next, Craig?
Oh, it's like that. That's fine. So we've gone through your highs and your lows. Is it? On about the highs and lows, though, that includes, it's got to include the behind the scenes, it's got to include everything that goes on backstage, which includes Tom, as you've already spoke about, and it includes, obviously, the commissioner himself.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Commissioner Chaos, as we know him, he was another, key figure involved in the initial beginnings of when I started getting involved. He was actually in the main event of the first show I refed. Yeah. He was in a casket match against Carson Bailey, I think he was, as I remember.
That was the casket match, FCW at the Bagridge.
Yeah, carried the casket out. I was a pallbearer, stroke referee that night. One of the key bragging rights I've got for that is that night there was two massive names in the crowd watching. I've never stepped in the ring before to do what I do. Yeah. There's Trent Seven and there's Orange Cassidy. They were both in the crowd that night, watching it. And to think that they were there on the very first time that I got to do what I do, that was that's memorable for me. Yeah. But yeah, Rob's been a massive part of it as well. As well as Tom. Massive respect to Rob. For the continued faith he's got in me. Mistakes happen, errors happen. I'm continually trying to improve. I like to think I've done that. When I look back to the early times when I was reffing, I look at them first few clips to where I'm at now, and I like to think I've come on quite a bit.
It's all a learning curve, isn't it?
It's a massive learning curve. There's a chemistry in there. There really is. Recently I've got to work with pretty high-profile names in the British wrestling scene. Scott Bell and James Greenwood. They're pretty well well, established names, and to get the input and the support and advice from people who so qualified in what they do. That's been a great benefit to me as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not ignorant to advice. You know what I mean? You've got your own style. You develop along the way. You take pointers, and that's what I've done. And the main thing about what I do, I actually care about what I do. You know what I mean? I reflect on it. Like you say, there are people who are involved in it sometimes, and it's just a pawn on the chessboard. They don't necessarily care, and I do care. You know what I mean? And I like to look back and reflect on how I've performed, how I've been involved, and like I said, just continue to improve. And I'm enjoying doing that as part of the Black Country.
That's it. I mean, you can't disagree with anything you've said there. I mean, at the end of the day, it is about growth. It is about learning. Every day is a learning curve, doing something new. When I'm doing this, I learn something new every day. And 9 times out of 10, I'm wrong with most of the stuff I'm doing in the first place. But you keep going from it, don't you? You got to.
You do.
As for Tom and Rob, Mr. RC Chaos, Commissioner Chaos, Commissioner sits at ringside now on the commentary desk as well. So obviously he can make some impromptu decisions, can jump up every now and then just to rock the night if he wants to, or grab a beer and knock one back as he did at Halloween.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
That's it. But from a referee's point, you've got your plan in mind. You know what match you're about to referee, and then all of a sudden the commissioner decides he's going to jump up and throw a curveball at the participants, but obviously nobody really takes consideration to the curveball that's about to throw to the referee. The prime example for that for me would be we just spoke to TJ Sky, which you would have seen dropped on Sunday. TJ obviously has always got a few choice words for people, but like with TJ, he had a match lined up with Shane Hooker, and then all of a sudden it's now a triple threat and Luke Douglas is involved. So from a referee standpoint, that you didn't know that was about to happen, what kind of mindset does that put you in?
Well, it does. I mean, switching a planned match from a one-on-one into a triple threat, that's not just a curveball for the people involved, but it's also a curveball for me as a referee, because at the end of the day, that changes it massively. The stakes are increased, and anything can happen as the line goes in BCCW, and that's a pure example of one reason how it can happen. And it can be a challenge, and that's part of the journey. I wouldn't expect anything less based on the banner, the fact that anything can happen. I'm happy to just carry on and ride the wave and
just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Go wherever.
Do what you have to do, isn't it? At the end of the day,
exactly.
Talking to TJ Sky, obviously, I'm going to assume that you watched his sit down with me and the words he had to say. Do you have a rebuttal for him? Do you have anything you'd like to say to him, or not just to TJ, or to anyone else in the locker room for that matter?
Well, I think let's predominantly let's go with what TJ Sky. TJ Sky.
Sky. It's all the same, isn't
it? Crimea River. God, that was probably the most. That was probably the saddest video I've seen since the end of Marley and Me. My God, pull the tissues out and just well, he was low, wasn't it? Really, and you look at what he's come out with. The comments he made. I think we know what they were. I'm going to remain professional at the end of the day. It's sad that he's on this losing streak. Who'd want to be on? Why is he 8, 9, 10?
8-0. Oh, 0 and 8, as it should be. We should recall it.
I mean, if he's a bit more like relevant, you probably pick up on that. But it's only from the back of the podcast that you realise these figures about how far behind he is, behind some of the other elite talents on the roster. It must be awful to be in a position that he's in, being on an a downward spiral, really. But I think what TJ needs to do is he needs to pull up his big boy pants. Grow a pair. Maybe just do a bit of research on the opponents that puts before him. Because the majority of them aren't surprises. All he's got to do is go out there. We're in 2023 now, nearly 2024. It's a case of going out there, doing a bit of research on your opponents, instead of watching Barney and Friends box sets. Do you know what I mean? Because things like that are distractions. Interests like that, they're not going to help. He just needs to. Maybe he just isn't good enough. Maybe he just isn't as good as some of the, the top tier names on the roster. I don't know. It was just a very sad podcast. I'm sorry that he feels that way. I hope he can become a better version of himself next week, because it's sad to see an individual have to stoop to such lows, really. I'll be honest with you, I've got nothing against the bad guys in wrestling. I haven't. I'm impartial. I remain impartial throughout. I always have. I've not got anything on my record about fast counts, about slow counts, all this controversy nonsense, in conspiracy nonsense. It's just rubbish at the end of the day. Look at me. Look, I've got a Leon t-shirt on. You don't get much more dastardly than Leon to do you. I've got nothing against the bad guys. The Canal King. He's the worst you can get, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So I just I hope for the best for TJ Scott moving forward, and that's if I am the ref or I'm not the ref, because I don't know what's coming away. I'll take what's given to me, but at the end of the day, if he's going to put his hands on me like he did in the match with Chantel prior to the Rumble, I'm not going to just sit back just because I'm a referee. I'm not going to sit back and just allow that to happen. There's going to be a response. I'm not going to be pushed around. You step in that ring as a competitor. You have to respect the referee. You have to respect the rules, respect the stripes, and you listen. At the end of the day, I constantly do this to people when I'm in the ring. Listen to me. Some of them do, some of them don't. But at the end of the day, we will continue with this journey. And
you can look both sides. I'm a TJ guy. I hold my hands up. Noel Comsbury, I love TJ Scott. Absolutely love the guy. And I think this December, this Friday, obviously, this Friday, I honestly think everything's going to turn around for him, and he's going to be on a trajectory then the way he should be. But, I understand what you're saying, and I respect what you're saying. As a referee, the guys in there, the guys and girls in there, they do have to respect you. They do have to listen, and they should keep their hands off you. But if you push back and you found out in the Rumble, there will come a point, there's going to be a receipt. And, you got to live a dream. You got to come out in the Rumble that night, which we're going to go to the positives of this, because we know what happened. We know how it went, but you did get to live a dream that night, and you got to come out in the Rumble. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I did the John Moxley thing, as we know. Fantastic night. The timing couldn't have been better. Straight after being pushed down by TJ, the timing couldn't have been more perfect. He was in there. He was the man standing there when I made my entrance, got in the ring, and the end of the day, it was a case of just taking what come at me. I got in the ring, and he went for me and wiped him out with a clothesline. My daughter happened to make a very good video. of the highlights of that, and that's all she's done. That wouldn't any daughter want to do that from her father? You know what I mean? I think she was in the crowd that night. She videoed a bit of it. He was professionally videoed by himself as well, you know, and the camera crew. Who wouldn't want to, you know, put a little package together and post it out there? Do you know what I mean? So to get angry with the child is pretty damn pathetic, isn't it? And
I will say that was probably a low point for TJ on the podcast. That was
pretty grim, and she's in full agreement just off camera here. She walks in the room. But yeah, like I say, it was a fantastic moment to come out and do what I did. You know what I mean? And like I say, I've got nothing against the bad guys. Like I say, Lee Hunter t-shirt. He's the guy who eliminated me. Do you know what I mean? He threw me out that ring like that. Done. Game over. You know, there's no conspiracy involved here.
Well, it was a great night for you either way, regardless of how it ended for you or anything else. You got to live that dream, didn't you? You got to live that moment. You came out, like I said, I introduced you at the start as a little giggle for myself as a Mox Mark, but we all loved it. The second that music hit and those zebras ran across the screen, people went mental. They did love it. It was great. We're going to wind it down with something a bit more light-hearted and fun rather than sticking with a downer at all on anything. So we're going to play a bit of fantasy booking. So if you could book anybody, try not to pick John Moxley or Jericho, but if you could pick anybody in wrestling, alive or dead, to face a member of the BCCW locker room, who would it be? What kind of match would you put them in?
Wow. That's on the spot stuff, isn't it? I don't know. Let's go. Imagine Eddie Guerrero against George Lydon.
Oh, there's a match. That's
a random one, isn't it? But wow, the past versus the future. I think that would be special.
So you got that. So I'm assuming you'd want to ref that, or would that be one you'd rather prefer to sit and enjoy and get to enjoy it as a fan?
I think if you know any opportunity you get to do what I do and ref it, of course, you know that's better than being in any seat. It's fantastic to watch wrestling. You know, I've done it for so long, from TV screen to front row to some of the biggest shows that have been around the country. But to ref something like that, of course, you know, it's be special. That would, yeah.
Good stuff. Oh, I reached out to the world and let them know that we're going to be getting you on the show. So if there's any questions or anything for them, we've pretty much ran through everything that was asked for you. You've answered everything and beyond, so it's been great. There was one question that came through by somebody called Boing Boing. I don't know what that was or what's that about, but it says, are you still a Wolves supporter? Or have you changed your mind considering their shit?
Still a Wolves fan, mate. Still got the ink. Still got the ink. That ain't going nowhere. You know, it's my football allegiance has been a bit of a strange one, bit of a roller coaster. But,
all right, okay.
That's for another.
Another podcast at another time.
Yeah.
What's going on, BCCW? Lewis Dace here, bringing you all the scoops and information. And I've got some breaking news. This Friday, Xmas Gimmicks is sold out. I will see you Friday at the Xmas Gimmicks.
Lewis has now let everybody know that the Friday, the 8th of December, Allen Sports Bar in Tipton, Xmas Gimmicks Naughty or Nice has officially sold out. That does not mean you can't try your luck on the door. Sometimes we can find a space under the table. You know, we'll hide you under a chair. We'll sit you on a big captain's lap if we have to. We might find a space, but officially they are now sold out.
I'm really not surprised. You know, it's we've got a good fan base. That the returning fans, you do get new people that come along to shows. Especially after the pop-up show, you know, that went to another area, and you know, at the end of the day, it's reaching out to other people, you know, new people who are wrestling fans and come to watch things. But there's a good loyal support for BCCW, and it's good to see those same people come back. Usually in the same seats and enjoying themselves. And like I said at the start of the show, really excited about 2024 and wherever that'll bring. Really excited.
Everything going forward now looks like it's going to be impressive. Adam, it's been an absolute pleasure to actually have a sit and chat with you properly, because I don't get to do this with many people, to be honest. But it's good to actually sit and have a conversation with somebody. I've got all the technical difficulties tonight with my cameras playing up, but it's all good. This is why we have backups and everything else, and we can do post-recording videos if we have to. But
I've seen the pop-ups, and I've just carried on and
just keep going. It's all part of
the show must go on, and like you say, anything can happen.
It's all part of HTW and BCCW. We are sponsored, obviously, by technical difficulties, and it would not be the same without them. Adam, if any other companies do want to reach out to you, book you on the card or anything else like that, or get you in a Rumble spot to just punch somebody out for the laughs, how can they reach you?
Yeah, my Instagram and my Twitter is Reverted Wolf, Reverted Wolf. I've also got a Facebook page, Adam Evans Referee. So just look out for that, and be happy to entertain any propositions that come our way. But thank you, Craig.
That's perfect, mate. Thanks again, Adam. Everybody, don't forget bccw2021.com. All your events, your merch, everything is on there. Previous matches are on there. The YouTube channel, all the social gimmicks, you know where to find us. I have been your bastard. He is the head zebra of BCCW, Adam Evans. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, people.